LSU and Ole Miss don't like each other. These games are fun. The one last year I went to in Baton Rouge, Kyron Lacey, may he rest in peace, game-winning touchdown. Reb should have won that game. LSU hung around. You just can't do that. And they win it late. LSU, a 1.5-point favorite in Oxford, 2:30 game. And this game is got some interesting dynamics just in terms of matchup purposes. And I'll start with LSU and their offense. I watched them against Southeastern Louisiana. I did not have time to study them. Quick thoughts. Right tackle remains an issue for LSU. Weston Davis, still figuring it out. Struggled again last night against Southeastern Louisiana. The left guard spot, they rotate Paul Mapinga, Cohen Eccles. LSU's got to find answers, man. Had some pre-snap penalties. It's just like the same stuff. It gets old. It's like just run a clean operation. Behind the chains a couple times. The good thing for LSU offensively, Garrett Nussmeier finally looked the healthiest he's looked all season. Not even really close. They finally took some deep shots. They got the ball down the field. They found Barry and Brown. They found Chris Hilton. They found Aaron Anderson. Dog. Trades Green, probably back next week. Warmed up with the team, didn't dress. Run game, a little bit better. It should be versus an FCS opponent. That's the question. And on the broadcast, they made an interesting comment. Because on the broadcast of the LSU Southeastern game, they brought up the fact that, hey, some of the running issues aren't just lack of execution, hat on a hat, by LSU's offensive line, but Caden Durham hasn't been seeing it the way that we hoped he would. He hadn't been as patient as we hoped he would. I mean, that to me kind of felt like a little bit of a rabbit out of the bag there. I don't know if that was supposed to get out, but it did. And then once you hear it, then you see it. Jawan Johnson comes into the game, guy that used to play quarterback, and you see his feel and his patience and his shiftiness and his ability to create cutback lanes. And you're like, feels very Josh Williams-like. So LSU might have something there. It's a little bit early for that, but Frank Wilson not afraid to ride the hot hand. Maybe we'll see a little bit more of Harlan Berry. Here's the thing for LSU against Ole Miss. Ole Miss's front seven. Xavier Harris, big dog in the middle. Freak. Think over 320 pounds. I would say that pretty safely. I went low there. But he is a mammoth in the middle. Outside of that, there is not a ton of beef. This is a team that's really kind of built on the outside in. You got guys like Princewell Umanmielen. You got guys like Suntarine Perkins. You have guys like Deshaun Womack. Ole Miss is light on the interior. And I like Will Eccles a lot. But you can run against Ole Miss, in my opinion. Tulane showed that. And if I was LSU, I'd be looking at Perkins, Suntarine, who weighs 220 pounds. And I'd be looking at Umanmielen, who played the best game of his collegiate career, in my opinion, against Tulane. But I would make those guys defend the run. And I know LSU is pass happy. I know they got all the weapons, all the cars you could possibly imagine in the garage. Sometimes you just got to take the old truck, old Tanny the Tahoe out. 250,000 miles, just let her rip. Get you from Nashville to New Orleans, no problem. You know the dependability. You have to get back to that consistency of a run game if you're LSU. Ole Miss also light in the box, athletic, speed, space backers, but you got to challenge them between the tackles. This is like a FU game if you're LSU. It's an SEC game. It's on the road. Everybody's telling you you can't run the ball, so run the ball. And for what it's worth, a lot of new faces in that secondary. Ole Miss flies around, but you got to make them pay. So we'll see. We'll see what it looks like for LSU offensively. And Ole Miss defensively, man, like, they play hard and they play freaking fast. This is going to be their biggest test. They played their best game against Tulane. Didn't get to study that Arkansas game. I went back and forth. Should I study this one in Tulane or should I study Arkansas, the better opponent? And it was more important for me, at least offensively, to see what Trinidad Chambliss looked like in his second start. Trinidad Chambliss, transfer, Ferris State. Similar profile to Damon Williams. It's got to be 5'11", 5'10". When he hit the portal and decided to transfer to Ole Miss, I made the comparison that he kind of reminded me of Vernon Adams, who transferred from Eastern Washington to Oregon. Kind of reminded me of Tommy Castellano. So if you're an LSU fan, think of that. If you're an Ole Miss fan, you've seen him the last 2 weeks, so you know what he looks like. Austin Simmons, the starter of the season opener, been dealing with an ankle injury since Kentucky. And even if he was healthy, if you're Lane Kiffin, I don't know how you can't go with Chambliss just because of the dynamic that he gives you on the ground. And here's the thing. He is more than a competent thrower. Ole Miss, check out this balance. 15 design quarterback runs. There were also 5 of 6 on passing attempts over 20 yards against Tulane. They have guys on the perimeter between Trey Wallace, between Deuce Alexander, between Dazon Stribling, that they can just throw at you in droves. Daquan Wright at tight end. They haven't even gotten Luke Hasz involved. And if you're LSU, all you're thinking about is Blake Baker's defense and their performance against a running quarterback in Marcel Reed. Completely unprepared. They started the game with Connor Wigman. They stuffed him in a closet so bad that A&M had to switch to Marcel Reed, and they had no idea how to defend the quarterback run. This is a Harold Perkins game. Number 7 took down Jackson Dart, Ole Miss, at home in Baton Rouge a couple years ago by himself. He was a freshman then. He's in a different role now. LSU, more speed, athleticism everywhere than they've had. But here's the thing. If you're going to blitz a guy like Trinidad Chambliss, it's going to expose some things on the back end. It's going to expose some things at the second level. So you have to limit those. And then when you're in the red zone, a team like Ole Miss, 3 is better than 6, obviously. And if you're LSU, back to the offensive side, taking a step back from 30,000 feet, it's about controlling the line of scrimmage, taking time off the clock, and shrinking this game. Don't get into one of those games that you got into with Lane Kiffin a couple years ago when you had Jaden Daniels. Don't do it. You'll lose. You will lose. Play your game. Make them respond to you. And if you're Blake Baker, don't be on your heels. Be proactive. Be the same guy that you've always been. But this is a different game, and he knows that. So I expect this to be an exciting game. Like from a personnel matchup standpoint, LSU is going to be tested. This is strength on strength. Ole Miss offense, high flying, can beat you on the ground, multi-dimensional, over the top. And Chambliss can, make every throw. Let me be clear on that. He's good in the short to intermediate. He's accurate. He can layer the football. He can throw on the move. He's got off-platform to him. And he's a very good deep ball thrower. And this is where guys like Hulsey come into play. This is an experience game. So LSU -1.5 against Ole Miss. Give me the Tigers. I think the Tigers get back to playing strong football. Offense bounces back. And now I think for LSU, it's just ramp it up. Ramp it up. Ramp it up. Got to continue to find the confidence. All right, guys, just a reminder, you're locked into Coop's Corner. Tell a friend. That's what we say. Tell a friend. Leave a review. Leave a rating.